Good morning, gang. We've got this Ingersoll Rand club car with a Kawasaki engine that we're going to just do a quick tune-up on, lube everything, and get it ready to be picked up. And then the next thing that'll come in the shop will be the Scag, which is sitting right there, the Scag Wildcat. We'll get it in here, try to hammer that out, get those two ready so I can give Harry a call, have him come pick those up, or his son. And we're just going to try to do a marathon of fixes and services today. It's supposed to get up to 91 degrees with a very high humidity, so I'm going to be shutting the shop doors here and kicking on the air. In fact, I'll kick the air on right now just so that it's going to try to keep up with the humidity. I'm not so concerned with the heat so much as the humidity. It was a busy weekend. It was a busy weekend. I went through and took care of some house calls. Get in there. Oh, it doesn't need to be locked, I guess. All I'm doing is just shutting the doors. Finally broke down and put some fuel in Ruby. $100 gave me 1/2 of a tank. $100. Way to go, Biden. Anyway, I know it's not just Biden, so that Briggs engine is going to be going in a Craftsman. I have a Cub Cadet out there that has the Kohler Courage that sheared. In fact, I'm going to show that to you right now. It was a factory defect. And it's going to be near impossible to extract the rest of the bolt. But you can see the clutch is completely wore out. There's no more clutch material on this clutch. It's metal on metal. The gentleman that owns it, Chuck, he brought it down a couple years ago for me to, let me get that piece of paper turned around. There we go. He brought it to me a couple years ago to disable the reverse clutch disengage. These clutches are not well made to begin with, and every time you back up, it disengages the clutch, which stops the deck and re-engages. It's almost like cars that shut off at a stoplight and then restart themselves when you step on the gas pedal. Your starters aren't going to last anywhere near as long as if the engine just stays running. Well, if the deck just stays running, it's engaged, it's not wearing itself out. But as you engage and disengage, engage and disengage dozens of times over the course of mowing 1 yard, every time you mow, it's going to destroy your clutch, which it did in this case. So the Kohler Courage snapped the bolt that holds the clutch in place, and it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see right there, just a clean snap. The thread lock is right there. The thread lock never even got into the threads, so the thread lock was put in the wrong place to begin with. But why did this bolt shear? Well, it was cross-threaded from the factory. When this bolt was put in on the assembly line, it went in cross-threaded, and it snapped off flush with the end of the crankshaft. So I am not even going to attempt to get that sheared bolt out of that engine. Not even going to try. It keeps loosening up its engine bolts. One of the engine bolt holes is also cross-threaded. It's the forward one on this side that you tighten it, you mow once, and then the engine starts doing this again, moving around and wiggling and wobbling. Just a one really poor attention to detail on the assembly line, and 2, a disposable engine. So it's a single cylinder twin cam, 1 cam for each valve. Why? Absolutely no reason for it. The Kohler Magnum 20, Dave and I got it running on the Dixon. We weren't able to test anything else out, but the engine is good, so it's going to go away hopefully sooner than later. We've got the Simplicity 2210 to do. We've still got the 2 7118, 7116 to get in and get a couple little minor things done with. Get the weight box hung onto the Sovereign and Quickway loader. There's the yard machines. I thought it was a Craftsman. There's the yard machines beside the Scag that is getting that engine sitting right inside the door. The Scag has to come in for every time you engage the blades and you pull the arms in, it shuts itself down. So we've got a safety switch issue with that, but it does start and run. It's not been used in some time, but we're going to go through it. It's got a couple tires that leak down, so we need to reseal those tires. But the Scag and the golf cart are going to get done today. Golf cart, I'm not going to videotape. It's just a quick, simple little service. I'm pulling the air cleaner box, out, and pulling the air cleaner out, cleaning it real well, just tidying up the engine compartment a little bit, new spark plug, and an oil change to the overhead valve Kawasaki engine. And then this is done, other than going up front and greasing the kingpins up front for the steering and lubricating stuff in that regard. Also, I'm going to lubricate the shift cables, and I'll use my cable lubricator to do that. But it's not going to videotape this one. It's nothing fantastic is going to happen here. It's just going to get a general service. Battery does need replaced, but Harry has got a bunch of batteries, so he said don't worry about it, I'll replace that when I get it back. And so let's get this done, then we'll get the Scag in here, and we will videotape the Scag and see what we can find as far as which safety is causing the deck to disengage as soon as you pull the arms in to move the Scag forward or backward. So stay tuned for that. Alright, reaching the tail end of the golf cart. We've got oil changed, oil filter changed, gas filter changed, some gas line changed that was a little old and brittle. So we've got the new oil filter. Also, new spark plug. Still have to fill the oil, but everything's set and ready to go. Now all I've got to do is come down. There's only 2 points to grease. It's the kingpins, like I mentioned. There's one right there. And we come over here and move the tire over, and there's the other one. And looking at them, I don't see where they've been greased yet. So these are sealed ball joints on both ends of the rack and pinion system. It's kind of hard to see in there, but he's got a good bit of extras added on to this, but they've all been wired correctly. So we'll get that grease in there, set this thing down, fill it full of oil, check the pressure in all the tires, and motor it on out and bring the Scag in. Here's a quick tip for you. I overfilled it. Not by much, but by enough. So if you ever overfill, how do you get just the amount of oil out that you need to get out without draining all the oil out and starting from scratch? Well, you just get a little vac pump, and that is what this guy is right here. Here's the business end with the hose. So we're just going to stick that hose right on down in there to the bottom of the oil pan. We're going to pull. If you guys will watch, you'll see the fluid pull up in there. Let me grab a light and make it a little easier. There, you ought to be able to see now. I also have to get the, excuse me, nozzle off the oil can real quick. Okay, you just pull and you'll see that oil come. See it coming right up? So I don't need to pull a lot up. And then another tip, if you're heading straight down like I am here, I'm going to pull the plunger. Let me reposition you guys. I'll leave that right there. Okay, here's the plunger. As I pull this out, in order to keep from dumping a bunch of oil all over the place, I'm just going to pull as I pull it up. And so now I've got the oil in the gun, and we're going to put it back in the oil can. Well, that's not going to work for you guys very well, is it? Just nothing is. There's nowhere to clamp on this thing. Anyway, let me just put that oil right back in there. Whoops, and then we'll check the oil again. So you can overfill. It happens. I do it. Excuse me. Lordy, I'd hate to be the one cleaning that toilet. Ugh. Alright, close enough. Then I always clean the siphon pump out with a little bit of mineral spirits, and the reason that I do that is because I also use that same pump to pull oil samples to send off to Brookstone. So let's check and see where we're at oil level wise now. I'm guessing a little bit low. I might have pulled a little too much out. Well, we got her. We're good. Okay, no more overfill. So if you ever overfill, use your oil dipstick tube and a siphon pump. That'll cure what ails you. Let's get the Scag in here. Well, I am back sooner than later. I'm gonna make a guess before I look. Two things are making me think this. One, the blades are turning without the clutch being engaged. That's one thing that's making me think what I'm going to share with you. The other thing, when I engage the clutch, I can hear the clutch engaging. Then I go out and I try to mow, and the spindles slow down. So down in the comments, pause right now, down in the comments, guess what you think it could possibly be. I will wait on you. Okay, I've waited long enough. My guess is the belt is simply not in the pulley groove. That's my guess. So we're going to find out here directly. Let me get things set up. Okay, are we ready? Let's take a look. Nailed it. You can see the belt actually riding on the crankshaft instead of being down in the pulley groove. Let me point out the pulley groove in case you guys can't see it. Get something long enough to point with. This should do it. Okay. That right there is the pulley groove where the belt should be, and the belt is up here. So let's put that belt where it belongs and see if it behaves any better. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but working on Scags is an absolute joy. Why? Because they're built well, and they're also built with working on them in mind. Being commercial units, typically the landscape companies have someone who works on their stuff for them, namely me, I guess, in this case, and they give you a 1/2 inch square to stick a breaker bar in so that you can get the tension off the belts. And it makes it near effortless to do. See what it's doing? It's just moving everything out of the way. So I'm going to pop the belt off of this pulley right here. Sorry. Just going to pop the belt. I've got my glove caught in my, there we go. Just going to pop the belt off here to give me room to get the belt on the PTO. So just loosen it up, let that spring take it, and that gives, I'm keeping the belt in place. Is that the right belt? I think so. Let me look. Yeah, that's the one heading to the back. This is a 2-belt system, okay? You'll notice we've got one belt here that's cogged, that is running off of a double pulley on the center spindle here, and there's another idler, spring-loaded idler right there that allows you to take the tension off of that belt. You've got 2 belts here, but you know, another spot over there, right there, that you can get a hold of. And the pivots are not bushings, the pivots are bearings. Try to find that on a John Deere. Anyway, let's get to the back. We still have the light on under there, I think. Yep, we still have the light on under there. And we should have enough slack on that belt now that we can, oh, where am I going to put the light? I don't know where to put the light. That'll work. See if we can get a hold of that. Grab that belt. I didn't give myself enough slack. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it off of here. All right. You guys aren't seeing much other than my blue hand, but okay. It has dropped down in the groove now where it's supposed to be. Now, let's get back up here and get that pulley. Get the belt back on that pulley. There we go. That's much better. Now, let's take it out and see how everything works. Also, the pardon my sniffling, freaking allergies suck. Set that on there. See, and even these, they've got these covers, but slotted. You don't have to take the bolt all the way out. They even have thumb nuts that you just tighten. Oh, I love Scag. They do such good work on their mowers. That's not to say other commercial brands don't either, okay? But Scag, they've got it figured out. Push that down. I don't think he needed to replace that at all, but since he did, he's got a new one. I'm not gonna sniff anymore. My nose is about to run off my face. Give me a second, I'm gonna take care of that. Then we'll hop on here and see if our blades are staying still after we start it. Time to start it. See if it'll start without choke this time. Oop. Hey, not moving. See the path I took, and it didn't want to knock any of the grass off. So now push that down, move that lever back. It's spring loaded. And the reason it's spring loaded is when you push it forward, it automatically locks in the up position. Alright, now arms are engaged. I'm sitting in the seat. I'm going to go full speed. It's going to be noisy, so bear with me here. I'm going to go full speed, pop the clutch on, and see how it moves. That's much better. I call that a win. That's all it was. That belt was just off the pulley. So now I can go ahead and get this fully serviced and get it back to both of the crepses, this and the golf cart. So I guess that's going to end it. Sometimes it's a really easy fix, and this time it was, and I'm glad. So I'm going to get a hold of Harry, tell him and his son can come out and pick these up at their leisure and get another project in the shop. Boy, it's hot out here, and it's only going to get hotter. Promise you guys, I'll see you on the next one. Later. I'm out of here. Just mowed half an acre and had absolutely no problems whatsoever. Water temp came up, thermostat open, went back down, regulated itself. I waited until it regulated itself to pretty much a constant, and it's not overheating, it is not leaking anything. Everything is in nice shape. It doesn't have, if memory serves, it doesn't have a ton of hours on it. In fact, I think it has less hours on it than Scott's did. So let's find that hour meter again. I'm always hunting. There it is over there. 655.7 hours. So this has fewer hours on it than the one that Scott has. And yeah, I mean, it's happy as a lark. So I'm gonna real quick do service, you know, air filter oil change, all that fun, spark plugs, all that fun happy stuff. I've already called Harry, so I am committed to him coming and picking this thing up, and it has got to get done, so I'll get that figured out. But anyway, there we go. There's the Scag. All it was just that belt was not on the pulley. That's it. Isn't that crazy? It's been sitting for a good long while because a belt just came off. That's the best scenario. That's what you want to see. And I know that I already said this is Zippo later amount in the previous clip, but I really mean it this time. Friendly neighborhood Zippo. I promise you guys I will catch you on the next one. Later. I'm out of here.